Hello and welcome to part 2 of this Carlsbro CS60. So if you remember in part 1 we'd restored this amp. We'd had it running early on. We come to power it up again and the transformer was open on the neutral side, on the return side. So got another transformer. I'd got one of the Carlsbro PAs that we'd broken, so we're going to use that transformer off of that. As you can see, I've got everything disconnected here, so we've just got to drop the bolts, and that's what we're going to do now. Oh dear. Right, so change the transformer and we're good to go. I've got a few wires to tidy up here and there, but other than that, yeah, let's go again. So we're going to go a bit steady with the bulbs to start off with. We've got a meter up top monitoring the we've got a meter up top on the shelf monitoring the plate volts. Let's plug in and give it a go. $40-watt bulb in there, 130 volts going in. We've got negative 22 on the bias, so I can tell you now we're going to have too much negative volts, but we've only jumped in that 150k, so we're not too concerned about that. As long as we've got more and not less, that's what we're bothered about. We've got not enough, then the tubes are going to get hot very quickly. Drawing 110 milliamps. Got 235 plate volts and negative 22 on the bias. So before we go any further, let's just see. Probably not got enough to see the filaments glowing yet. Right, I'm just going to put 15 watts, another 15 watts of bulbs. So we've got 55 watts now. And if you look up there, you can see we've got 280 volts and climbing. But we should start to see that go down. Got 147 going into it. And we're drawing 130 milliamps. But as yet, there's no sound. So have we got voltage on the screens? Yep. Yep. Same that side. Yep, got voltages there. Oops. So have we got voltages on the filaments? Just going to see. I think we'll just test those from here. Oh, I can hear a bit of something. 1.9, so we've got voltage there. So yes, there's a bit of something kicking off in the speaker there. I heard. Right, I've got 70-watt bulb in there now. 160 milliamps we're drawing. I'd expect something now, so something's obviously not quite right. Got a slight hum through the speaker though. So we've got 317. What we got there, 282, 208. So we've got conductance there. So we're missing signal somewhere. So we'll have to start. Looks like we're going to have to start signal tracing. Right, I've got signal coming in there, and that is here on this first coupling cap. So if we come through there Let's try here. Nothing. So we've got no signal there. So that's where our problem is. Unless that is the other channel. Let's just check, because I haven't got the schematic in front of me. Ah, no, that's the other channel. So we've got signal coming into this first stage here, into this first 12AX7 there. You can see, and I'm just trying to hold one camera with my hand while I'm doing this and the other one's filming. Right, so it looks like a problem with the phase inverter. That's going into pin 2 on the phase inverter into the grid. So that's what it's looking to me, very much to me like we've got a problem with the phase inverter. All the rest of the circuit's fine up to that point, but then we're missing signal. Right, been and had some dinner and refresh myself, because I was going at it hammer and nail, and it's just good to walk away and have a break. So come back, check the tower resistor. We know we've got volts up to the phase inverter grid. We've got no voltage there at all anywhere. And if we go here, you can see we've got, if we go in there, we've got 407. We go to the other side of that plate resistor that's going to the plate. We've just hardly got any voltage drop. What we got again? We've got 407, 402, 402. So the phase inverter is not conducting. I've changed the tube, so I think we can deduce that there's a problem there. And I've just found it what it is. We go in there, the wire's broken off. There's no wire on the cathode there, so at some point we've lost that. Amazing, just going for a break, coming straight back to it, and you find it straight away. Right, we've added that wire, so let's see if it works now. We're ready to go. Oh, it always works better when you switch it on. There we go. Right, so just check the bias with that 150k resistor in there, and I've got 14.1 watts on this tube, and I've got 16 on the other. 16.5, sorry, on the other. So these tubes aren't well matched. So I've got a couple of 330k resistors in parallel, and they're giving me about 165k. So we're going to go again. Right, so 160k was 65k was way too much bias. That hottest tube at 23 watts, so that was quickly dispersed with, and we've got the 150k in now, soldered into those turrets. You can just see it over there. So the next plan of campaign, now I can alter the bias from here with this 47k. I've got quite a few resistors of various values, so we'll just alter that to bring the bias up. I like my amps at 70%. Couldn't quite get the bias quite where I wanted it on this, was 18.9, and adjusted it with these resistors is not easy. So I've got a bit creative, and I've done this before in amps. So what I've done, So the resistor was 47k for the bias. So what I've done is I've put 100k resistor in, and I've got a 100k bias pot in parallel. So that gives us 50k, and then we can adjust it down. So the reason I've paralleled it across the resistor is that if the pot ever fails, goes open, dust in it, whatever, then it will revert back to 100k and the bias will just drop cold. So that's why we've done that. So now we're going to test it. So how I construct this, I use some 18 gauge wire to go either side of the resistor, which gives it some stability, and then just solder it on there, and it works really well. So we've got him in there, and if we look up there, we've got the bias, we've got negative 41. Now I've still got it on the bulbs, I've only got it on a couple of 150, so there won't be that much difference. If I just flick off the bulbs, you can see we don't really get much change. So and I've adjusted it, I know roughly negative 42 now, and we're at 240 volts going into the amp off the wall. So let's just check the bias again, go for the volts drop on this side. 3.75 we've got, probably can't, it's just come down. So yeah, I've got a meter there, 3.75. So, and we divide that by our resistance, which is on that side is 92. Divide by 92, that's 40 milliamps. A little bit over, I think, that still, but not massively, but a bit over. Let's get some plate volts. 469. 19 watts, so yes, it is a little over. That's about what I had them set before. If we look at that meter again, and we're going with the small screwdriver, and this pot as well, it's quite, you have to turn it quite a way to get an adjustment. Very fine adjusting pots, and you see that's going up now. More negative volts, cooler it goes, remember. So let's try that somewhere there. Just bring the meter in so you can see it. So if we're going again, see if we can get in without my bumps getting in the way. This centre tap, 3 volts on the nose. 3 divided by 92, 32.6 milliamps. So we've probably gone a bit too low now. But yeah, 32.6, I think probably somewhere around 38 milliamps where we want to be. 474, near enough, we'll call it that. 15.4, so yeah, we have gone too far now. So quite a good adjustment on it. So we'll just tweak it up a bit. That's a bit low for my amps. Now, I must never set bias with negative volts, even though it says, it'll tell you on the schematic what the negative volts is. It is a real bad idea to set them, because you can find that you put a set of tubes in that draw a lot of current, and you'll end up with the tubes running too hot. The bias volts is just a voltage applied. It has a bearing on what the tubes draw, but all tubes draw different current, so it's on a scale really. So negative 43 might be fine for these tubes, but then we put a set of tubes in that draw more current, and you may find that negative 43 isn't enough. And sometimes it goes the other way around. So the Showman that we've just done, it states negative 52 on the schematic, and for the tubes that went in, that's probably right. But the tubes that I've put in it, the modern day tubes, they run in stone cold at negative 52. So it's all down to the tubes. All I'm showing the negative volts on that meter for is just to show you how the pot increases it and decreases it. So let's go in again. 3.2 we've got there. That's 34 milliamps, so that's coming up now. Well, that's not too bad. 474, that was just be. That's 16.4. So you could leave it at that if you wished. As I say, I like to have my amps at 70%. It all just depends on, everybody's different. So we just need to tweak that a little more and it's job done. Probably somewhere there, I would say. 3.45. Hasn't changed the deal, has it? 37.5 milliamps. $472. 17.7, and we're bang on 240 volts, so that'll do nicely for me, because as the voltage drops on the wall voltage, the bias, in fact 241 it's just hit now, it was just about up there, so that's bang on. So we'll test the other side, and that one's a bit low, 2.77, so 2.77, but the resistance is different on that side. 85 on that side. 32.5 milliamps. Can't remember what the voltage was now. 474, something like that. Well, they were a perfect match, but now they don't seem to be. Strange. Sorry, I'm nibbling, eating and working. I get more done that way. It's only a punnet of blueberries. Right, so these tubes are about 2 watts apart, which is acceptable. It is from one of my amps anyway. But I might just have a route round, see what else I've got. Yeah, conclusions to this one. We're going to have a listen to it in a minute, but so we changed obviously the transformer there, and you really can't tell the difference because it came off the same type of amp. It was just a PA that had broke. For parts, we've added some safety features to this, so like the HT fuse for example, and the IEC there. We've put a switch on. You just see the double pole single throw switch. Now again, like I said, this is my amp. If I was selling this amp, then there would be a few things on here that I would need to do, but because it's mine and it's no big deal. But one thing would be I would change all of these wires and tidy all this up a little bit more. It's just how they came out of the factory, but we could do better than that. But as I say, I'll use this amp probably 3 times a year, if that, maybe. So it's just, I've always wanted one of these, so I've got one now, and I'll probably may at some point get into it and change, just tidy up all the wires on this side. This side's okay, it's just the wires across there that are a bit tatty, but they're all connected on, so, and it's not noisy. This is done now. We've gone right through it, and yeah, it's a nice tool. So we'll I'll put it in its case, and we'll have a listen. Right, I've got this Carlsbro ready for a demo, so we'll have a bit of a listen. the bass channel. Let's try the other channel. Much brighter. So now what we can also do with this is we can link these two channels with this patch lead. You see now it's really fattened up the tone. This amp sounds awesome. So we've got this top cut on here, and it does work much like on the Vox, the top boost on the AC30s, where you get more treble as you turn it down, because it's a top cut. So the idea is as you turn it up, it cuts the top, and that's no top cut. So that's all the trebling on all channels. Take all the top cut out. single coil. So there we go. What a tool that is. What a beautiful sounding amp. And you know, I think Carlsbro didn't quite get things right, because when they made this amp, this to me is just a classic, and it just looks stunning, sounds stunning. And unfortunately, when a lot of amp manufacturers went onto the aluminium fronts, Carlsbro jumped onto that ship instead of staying faithful. If you look at Marshall, if you look at the classic Marshall head, in some ways the look and style of it have not changed that much since the 60s, and I think that's where Carlsbro went wrong. They should have stuck with this design, this cabinet design, and I think it would have been a winner. And then of course they went off on the solid state run, as a lot of amp manufacturers did in the 70s, where Jim Marshall did some solid state amps, but the primary focus was always on the tube amps, valve amps, as we call them in this country. So having said that, I've got some aluminium front Carlsbros. We've looked at some of those on the channel, and they are nice amps. They did make a tidy job. Selma, on the other hand, well, they didn't make such a good job of the aluminium front ones. But yeah, a real classic, and there's still a few of these around. It's a beautiful sounding amp. So that'll do it for this one. So thanks for watching, and you all take care, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye for now.